Hey guys, today we are discussing a very important topic. A lot of people who come to United States who want to purchase a property in Texas or anywhere in the United States, but they're non-citizens. They run into this problem. Most US loans require you to be a holder of Social Security number, which means you're a non-citizen or you're some kind of a resident. You're either a citizen or you're a resident of the United States. But what happens if you need to, or if you want to, purchase a property, whether it is your personal property or an investment property, and you don't have a Social Security number? So this is the question that we get a lot. Question: Andrew is our neighborhood lending expert here in Texas, and I asked him this question. Andrew, take it away.
Yes, thank you for having me, Elena. So, as you said, a lot of people are looking to buy houses and they are a non-citizen. So we look at non-citizen borrower eligibility. So you said, so if you don't have a Social Security number, then we can use as an individual taxpayer ID. Now, the nice thing about these programs is if you have a current verified status. Now, a current verified status can be documented by either a valid employment authorization document known as an EAD or other documentation showing immigrant status is current. That would be like a green card, work visa, etc. Now, the EAD, there's about 20 or 30 different types of EADs. There would be Class A, Class C, and then within the Class A, there's going to be about 10 or 11 of them. Class C, there's 10 or 11. And then depending on, let's say if it's like A2 or A21, that number of that shows why you're here in the United States and what you're specifically able to do. Let's say if you're a student, the EAD would show, or your visa would show that you're specifically here in the United States to be a student. Or if you're working at a company, you're specifically here to work for that company. Now, the nice thing about if you have the taxpayer ID and you have an EAD, the current verified status, we don't need income continuity. And what I mean by that is as long as you're reliant on income, the documentation that we need that required just has to show that you're currently working and that you've had your job for the last 2 years. You've had work history for the last 2 years. Now, let's say if you make commission, you've been working the same job with commission for 2 years. You have a 2-year history of it. We'll use based off of what you've made over the last 2 years, and we don't have to prove that it's going to continue to be made. As long as you're qualified based off what you're making right now, then we're good. We're able to get that loan done with that. Now, as far as the verified documents and lender discretion, there are some of the EADs or the visas may require additional documentation, and just on the straight, it's not going to be eligible only for what we have in front of us. So let's say if we have like a C18 or something, there may be more documentation that we would need in order for that loan or that client to be able to get approved. The C18 alone is not going to work. But if we get extra documentation, then we can send that to the lender. They use the discretion. They would be able to say, yes, we will close this loan, or no, we will not. And the reason why lenders do that is because the loans are backed by Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or FHA, or USDA, VA, etc. Now, when the lender does the loan and they're essentially selling it to the secondary market, that secondary market is going to look at it and they could potentially force the lender to buy that loan back. As long as everything is documented properly, then the secondary market, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, can't go back to the lender and say, hey, this is wrong. You have to buy this loan back. That's why they're going to ask for extra documentation. Just make sure that the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, everything lines up perfectly, and it tells the story to the investors that are buying the loan on the secondary market. So it's just, again, as a recap, as a non-citizen borrower eligibility and wanting to buy a house, you're going to work with your loan officer and you're going to present them with, if you have your EAD, you're going to give them that, a copy of it, or let's say it's a visa, you're going to give a copy. They may, depending on which class of the EAD that you have, they may be asking for extra documentation. for the lender to make sure that they're painting the picture for the lender to be able to get the loan done and funded. So any questions on non-citizen borrower eligibility? You're on mute.
I have a couple of questions that have been submitted to me, so let me go ahead and pull them up. Question number one is foreign national loans is the same in what you're discussing? Because people are asking, is it the same as foreign national loans?
So foreign national loans would be a little bit different than this. Foreign national is where your income is from a different country. And those loans are looking at based off of an income of how much money you make from a different country. Let's say that you work in a different country and you don't have United States tax returns. That's what a foreign national loan would be.
So if somebody was living in Canada, working in Canada, or let's just say in Australia, to your knowledge, which one would be more applicable to them? And assuming that, let's just say they do not have a tax ID in the United States, they could have obtained it if they potentially wanted, but right now they do not. Which loan would you recommend to them?
The foreign national or like a hard money type of loan.
Okay.
This for the non-citizen is if you were not born in America or you moved here or you're here as a temporary status. And that's where the EAD would come into play. So like the EAD is if you do have either a social security number or a taxpayer ID. And with that one, for instance, if we
If
look
you're
up,
sharing something, we cannot see it yet.
okay, well, I was just going to pull this up and just show different examples of what different EADs would mean. But
Still not sharing.
that's okay. I don't have to
Mhm,
share it. I was just going to
mhm.
go into more detail and just show examples of what the EADs are. But
But
if you have an EAD card, you can get with your loan officer. You can send it to us, and we can take a look at it and let you know either A, yes, it works on its own. B, we're going to need extra documentation, or C, unfortunately, that alone may not work, and you may not be able to get approved.
just off the top of your head, can you just say approximately side-by-side comparison between the EAD loan, I'll call it EAD loan for a moment, and the foreign national loan from a standpoint of a documentation required?
The difference of a foreign it would be tax returns. Basically, it's just
Mhm.
your income. And for that, you're still going to need to show your ID, but it's about calculating the income with the foreign national loans versus the EAD. You would have US tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, all of that, like you're working in the country, whereas the foreign national, you're not working inside the country.
Question, as far as the down payment or any kind of is there a limit, a top limit? Let's just say no more than $500,000, no more than $1 million. Is there any limit, top limit on the loan
To
amount? Either one
no,
of those
no,
loans.
no, it's just depending on where you live and what the maximum county loan limit is, or you can always get a jumbo loan up to 2 million, or some products give jumbo loans up to 3 million, 3.5 million. It's just depending on what that product allows
Gotcha.
for. But whether it's a non-citizen applying for that product, there's not a cap on that other than what the normal products cap would be.
As long as his income can support.
Exactly, as long as you qualify that and your income
Can support.
allows you for that.
So then question, is there a difference in down payment requirements for the I'll call it an EAD loan versus for a national loan?
Yeah, so an EAD loan would be just a general type of loan that you're getting. Let's say if you're getting a conventional loan and you're a first-time home buyer, then you can do as little as 3% down. If you're not a first-time home buyer, you can do as little as 5% down. Or then you can do 10% down, 15, 20, whatever you decide. If you're buying an investment property, then you need at least 20% down. Again, having an EAD loan is not going to require you any other down payment than what that product allows for. For national loans, it's not as easy as just every single time it's either 5% down or 20% down. It's more about that one's again going back into your income and what you qualify for.
Gotcha. Okay, question. Does any mortgage, can somebody just walk into Wells Fargo or Chase Bank and say, I need an EAD loan or I need a foreign national loan? Or are there some lenders who are more likely to provide that kind of a loan and others are not so much?
Yeah. Mortgage brokers are really good, which is what we are. We're a mortgage broker and we do really well. So we partner with multiple different lenders. So I can't speak to necessarily as Wells Fargo, but as long as it's a conventional loan, they should be able to qualify with that product. Foreign national loans are more, it's harder to get it approved for those loans. I don't think like the big banks or the lenders allow for that type of product. You'd probably have to go to more of like a hard money lender or a mortgage broker that's partnered with a lender that offers that product.
Gotcha. Let me see. Can somebody who's currently in the country illegally get a home loan? Or what kind of a home loan would they be able to get?
Well, if they're here illegally and they don't have either a social security number or a tax ID, then we don't have a product that would allow for that. Maybe they could do what's called a hard money loan, but I'm not familiar if they'd be able to qualify for that.
Okay. And another thing, and I think just repeating what you already said, can I get a mortgage without a permanent residency? And you said yes, correct?
Yes, that's where you would have an EAD, and then depending on what that EAD is, then you would either be approved just with that, or some EADs would require additional documentation.
Okay. That's all the questions that were submitted to me. So thank you so much. Unless you have anything else to add, how can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my phone number, my cell phone is at the top there, 989-600-6484. That's my cell. It's always in my pocket on my desk. I'm available on that. My desk phone is the other one, 989-607-5455. My email address. Now, the QR code right here, so many people are using QR codes. So if you click that, then that's an electronic business card that I have. And it's on there. It's my business partner. I'm on there. It's a link to, you can click in a profile to apply for a mortgage with us right from your own phone or tablet or computer. And it allows you to contact us.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hey guys, I know that you probably have your own questions that did not get airtime here on this video. If you have a question about either one of those loans, either a foreign national loan or a non-citizen loan, but you still have some kind of a EAD or other documentation in the United States, if you have questions about either one of those potentially applicable loans, put them in the comments below. So what's going to happen is I'm going to read all of your comments and I'm going to forward to Andrew all of your comments. He can contact you back through YouTube or somehow, and then you guys connect and he can answer all your questions in person. With that said, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you guys at the next video.